Alright, we should see it up here in the next few seconds. As long as... refreshing. And... come on.
Stop smacking your desk.
Waiting for it. I'm trying to hit refresh, but I'm waiting to see. Let me know if you guys see it. It says live. Well, I don't see us yet, but it said live.
Chat room, yell if
you
there we go. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. We're good. Oh, that's gonna be a fun edit.
Cool. So we're live. We lost about 300 viewers, but we're still here. Thanks for sticking around. 89 again. You 89 awesome people.
As I said earlier, forget this crap. I'm out of here.
Oh, this is a mass exodus after the day 9 interview, man.
That's okay. That's okay. It's the quality that matters, not the quantity.
Well, and what are you going to do? I mean, this is the age of the internet. I'm so happy, people are able to get to know us through the podcast and all. But in the grand scheme of things, how long do you spend on a stream? Because it's about the length of a day 9 interview to me. 15 minutes is usually all I'm like, yeah, well, that was nice.
Yeah.
Moving. Unless it's The Simpsons and like some dude's streaming The Simpsons, I'm stuck there all day.
Oh, we're back up to 261, so that's good.
Oh, great.
Whoop! It was like zoop, zoop. Everyone just hit the refresh button.
Yeah. So anyways, Nanny Wah, not that big of a deal.
Yep.
Moving on with our lives.
Yes.
In the last little bit of news this week, I just wanted to shine a little light on this because I just thought it was freaking hilarious. Cracked had an article on StarCraft 2 this past week, and
no,
I really
I'm sorry to say, this is from 2010, the 18th of September.
Oh, are you serious? Okay.
Yes. I'm an avid Crack enthusiast, and I have read this before. Crack, great website. Was originally a magazine, much like Mad Magazine, but when the internet came out, they said, we're not competing, we're going online, and they've done great so far.
See, well, thank you then. But big thanks to Discorax who pointed this out. I saw this, and I just assumed it was new. Because, again, as you said, the age of the internet, when someone tweets something, I just assume it's current.
Yeah.
So you could tweet Abraham Lincoln's State of the Union address, and I would think it was new. I'm like, oh, the election happened already, and we elected a dead man. Okay, cool.
But actually, it's real funny to read this. 2 years later, well, a year and a half, really. But at any rate, number 5 here, Cracked always divides things into a list, counting up, is StarCraft is a career in Korea. What? No way. Over in Korea? How far? How weird. Yeah, well, it's a career over here too now, including all the huge infrastructure that's building around it to support these people and their careers. Foreigners move there for their StarCraft careers. Well, now they don't really have to, but it's cool that they go there anyway to work.
Yeah. Yeah, probably my favorite quote in this whole thing is it says, you can probably see now why Koreans and other StarCraft pros are nervous about StarCraft 2. After almost 12 years of playing the exact same game and working out their little strategies and gambits, it feels almost as set in stone as chess. Imagine becoming a chess grandmaster and suddenly being told to throw it all away because they've come up with chess 2. Backwards moving pawns, bishops that can teleport, elevated squares, cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. So that gave me a good chuckle on my lunch break at work today, so I just wanted to share that with y'all. There's a link to it in the show notes, so go check that out.
Yep, definitely.
So that is it for all the news this week. We do have an email from Stimmed Sheep. Stimmed Sheep wrote, after listening to the show last week, I have to disagree with Mr. Fink about his position on esports becoming bigger and not having a soul. Now, this was not last week. This was actually 2 weeks ago. And Matt was in the chat room, so he might even be able to rebuttal this. But I'm not sure if he still is or not. But he says, allow me to explain a vision that I think most people would share. Oh, don't tell me what I think, sir. I don't like that. He says, eventually, esports will become a much larger venue and will have more fans. At that point, there will be a need to protect the player, not from the avid fans who like them, but from the fans who would wish to cause them harm. This is the main reason that players are kept from fans as they walk in, and that there is security at these events. It is not that esports has lost its soul. It's that the soul has become bigger and more complex. The soul is now spread to more people and transcends a larger audience. There is now high school leagues for esports, college leagues, club teams, and casual adult leagues, a la After Hours Gaming League.
Now,
Day 9 Prince.
I don't think this is possible anymore. Sure, it would be absolutely horrible if, so-and-so's walking down the lane, giving out high fives and some dude throws a brick at him or something ridiculous happens and harms the player. That's huge. That's horrible.
Yeah.
But now we have the age of the internet. You don't get to disappear randomly into a crowd. You'll probably get arrested and you will be destroyed on all the websites you love.
Yeah.
Who really shows up to these events wanting to cause harm to a player? Unless you always kind of hear it in movies and probably happens in real life. Hey, man, you made me lose all that money because you screwed up.
Well, I wonder, I mean, I haven't read anything on Reddit or seen anything, or it hasn't come out in the community of any situations like that, thankfully, just yet, where, like, somebody dislikes a player to the point where, like, they come to an event in hopes to cause harm or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the StarCraft 2 community just isn't like that. Now, granted, I don't know if we'll be there at some point. I doubt it, but I don't know. It's just a different... StarCraft 2 is very unique, where if there's a hater or a flamer, a lot of the times people pick them out and just, put them up on the cross right there and then and light the flame. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people will... Like, for example, when we get trolls on our forums, good luck, buddy. Because, man, the forums just light up and they're just, we just pounce them to the ground. So
yeah, and you would think our forums would be a place that would really attract trolls, because we wave the flag of casual gaming,
yes,
high and proud. So you would think all the trolls would just be like, oh, noobs, get the noob horn out and start blowing that shit like crazy.
Yeah,
but
we drive the convertible of noobishness down past the grassy knoll sometimes. But I mean, a perfect example happened this past week. Spades was cheating, apparently. Perhaps, maybe. We'll find out sometime soon.
Yeah, it's still not proven. But
I believe it, though. I believe it.
Oh, I believe it too. The guy used to cheat too, but that doesn't mean it's been proven and it's newsworthy yet.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
I'm using it as an example. I'm not saying this is real news. I'm just saying that the community is moderating itself right now. However, Matt Fink, to get back to the email here, and Matt Fink, he's afraid of what it could grow into. So let's continue with the email. Hear the rest of his thoughts.
Sure.
Yeah, to continue, he says, what Sundance is attempting to do is show business, specifically advertising agencies. This sport is viable. This sport makes money. Let's think about owners like Alex Garfield becoming the next George Steinbrenner. Kyle, I know you don't know who that is. He's the late former owner of the Yankees. What KESPA and the Pro League are going to do in Korea is start to create the system, but bring it to a global level. They're learning that, yes, you can become a pro gamer from any walk of life. Where do you think the great NBA or NFL stories come from that are featured on ESPN or on the pregame show of a network? These stories give the soul to the game. Those stories raise the athletes to something bigger than the collective and makes us want to rise to become something more. He goes on to say that I am disappointed that Mr. Fink argued in such a way that would appear against getting bigger and creating a players' association to protect the players. Eventually, it will happen, and at that point, esports will have been accepted by the larger group of people as a whole, not just some teen boppers and college/mid-20s. I hope for the day that seniors talk about esports, not the kind still in school.
Well, see, you have to remember, though, there is like a demographic for video games and for StarCraft 2 and for the streams and stuff like that. You're not going to appeal to the 50, 60, 70-year-olds who aren't like diehard gamers. Like, there's always a demographic to it. And I think the approach Matt Fink took was he didn't agree with the current business model and method of making money that MLG Sundance was currently going with. The fact that that's it. I mean, and that's okay, you know? I mean, like, not everyone's going to agree with the way to make money. I mean, everyone's different. Matt Fink is a very grassroots individual who was like, I can't see why they're charging money and the amount of money and blah, 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 and that's fine. But, it all comes back to the business model, and, we're all here to make money.
Yeah, and if you want to see exactly what Stim Sheep was talking about, I'll reference you to episode 104, where Matt Fink talked about this at the end of the show. Yep. So... I agree with you, Patrick.
This is really, to kind of get a little existential, this is really something that history is going to be able to tell us what the heck we're doing with the internet. Because right now, it is a complete unknown. I walk around, how I rarely talk to anyone who knows about esports. Mm-hmm. I've mentioned in the past that I have a slight habit, a wandering eye, when I walk along the streets of Chicago, if someone has their window open and they're watching something inside, I happen to glance, and it is never, ever video games.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting on that exact fact you just went on. We just talked about it with Xbox.
We just talked about Kyle being a creepy stalker and looking at people's windows. Is
Well,
that what we're talking
you and
about?
you and I were talking about that before the show, before we brought him in. But no. But we were talking about what I meant.
I'm not like up against it, like
what you doing in there?
Fogging the glass.
You
should be watching esports.
What I meant.
Is that Skyrim?
Is that Skyrim? What I meant by that
you
was...
blow on the glass and you draw with your finger, esports, heart.
What I meant by that was Xbox and Twitch coming to the Xbox. That's pretty much getting to those outlets now. Starting it's a building blocks, and that's a building block right there. That's the next step, is bringing it to an industry that doesn't use it as much. I mean, we as PC gamers, we stream a lot on to Twitch and Justin TV. Well, with the consoles, it is popular, but I would say it's not as popular. Well, now all of a sudden, if you start offering Twitch on consoles, you're going to see it skyrocket. I mean, for example, something new. Look at Diablo 3 and the amount of streams that there are available right now for Diablo 3. It's insane. There's at one point, I think there was 17,000 streams going on. So something new, something different. It'll get there eventually.
Right. And well,
it's an ever-changing market.
Aces in Kush in the chat room makes a good point that are there really any games that have been played for 100 years? We think that these sports are heavily established, but really they haven't been around that long in their current incarnation. And in fact, aren't they just a way for people to get together in real life? Because that's what Wrigley Field is here in Chicago. You see the old pictures of the community of the city coming together for these events.
Yeah.
The world has changed. And as we were talking about earlier with Monster Energy and everything else, we know these names. We actively support advertisers, not just because they happen to pop in our heads because we go, oh my God, I need tricks because it was advertised 100 times. I can't get the jingle out of my head. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Or Skip It. We all know these horrible songs. The world is different now.
Make a Skip It reference?
Yeah, absolutely. These things are in our heads because they were ingrained in us through TV. The world is different now. The way advertisers get to us is being very personal, and you want to support the advertisers for who they support.
Well, look at Twitter. Look at Twitter constantly. If I'm checking out the Twitter feeds, people are thanks, or at Still Series, thank you for supporting EG and Control. This week I bought your keyboard and your mouse. Here's a picture. I see those 50 times a day. That's exactly what it is. People are connecting In Control, EG, and Still Series. It's all about, growing your kind of market, and that's what it is. Exactly what you said.
Yep. And if you like our show, you should go buy yourself a Doghouse computer.
We love Doghouse.
Yes, I love mine, man. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't just sing their praises because they sponsor us. I sing their praises because they make damn good rigs.
Well, I think and I think a lot of people, if you didn't build your own custom rig, a lot of people nowadays are building custom rigs in order to save money and stuff like that. But
yeah.
If I didn't, I know how to build a custom rig and I'm comfortable with it, so I do it. But if you're not, go after these sponsors, these people Doghouse Systems. You should check out these machines. They're insane. And the prices, yes, sometimes they're a little bit pricey, but they're well worth it. They go ahead and they tax them out, they test them. I mean, they benchmark them, and the systems are insane. I mean, I remember the system you were on, and then you went to this system, and it's worlds of difference. You can play everything on the top settings. You could stream, everything.
I can stream, dude. I could run 4 streams at the same time. If I wanted to. I'm not gonna, but I can. Yeah, and without turning it into an infomercial, they do. They just make good stuff, and
I agree.
Their customer service is the bomb, which is part of the reason there's a little extra money. And all their systems come with a baseline 3-year warranty, which is the shit. I paid an extra $400 for a 3-year warranty with Apple back in the day. I know you can get them a lot cheaper now with student discounts and whatnot. But
no, I completely agree. And so support your sponsors. That's all we have to say.
Exactly. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good. It's kind of I find to be the really interesting thing. Well, one of the many interesting things about the StarCraft community is, we get really kind of jacked about the sponsors of the teams that we like. We're like, yeah, Monster, woo! Yeah, I actually can't stand Monster beverages, but I think it's awesome that I'm positive about that because they sponsor EG, because they sponsor things like professional esports teams. So
well, we'll have to keep that in mind when we actually have Kim Ram on from SteelSeries, just to talk to him about sponsors. And does he feel like people are becoming more and more connected with sponsors now, and connecting them with personalities? Like a lot of people connect. Like look at the Grubby situation when what sponsor was it that decided they weren't going to sponsor Grubby? Was it SteelSeries? I think they stopped sponsoring Grubby. And
that was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago, and the whole community had a huge outroar and was like, "Oh, we're not going to buy your stuff anymore." And it's like, why are you punishing the sponsor? Like,
no, but they put out a great statement to that, which was basically, "We can't afford to sponsor everyone. We love you all. I'm sorry."
Exactly, and it all comes back to it. People are connecting themselves with the sponsors, and the second a sponsor leaves somebody or a team or a person, the community blows up. But so
well, to agree with Stim Sheep. Awesome name, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I can't wait to hear old men yelling in the home, "Change it back to the esports." That'd be the best. And thank you for writing in. And on the note of writing in, neither three of us is going to be at MLG Anaheim. But
sadly,
you can help us out. Write into the show. Let us know what you think of the venue. It's been a long while since we were at Ohio. And
Columbus,
the seating was great, of course. And that was, one of our big notes coming over from our last live event in MLG Orlando. But let us know how the event goes. Let us know what Blizzard does. Let us know how hard of the Swarm is.
Yeah. As always, we pride ourselves on being the community show, a show by fans for the fans. So please let us know what the average Joe feels and sees and experiences at MLG, because we love hearing from you guys.
Yeah, it'd be great to get the news from the community in regards to, okay, what was the line like for Heart of the Swarm? Now, granted, we can read it on Team Liquid or we can see it on Reddit, but, if we can say, hey, John Smith wrote in and said XYZ, and this is how his experience was. So I agree. Community all the way.
Good stuff. You can send your emails to starcastshow@gmail.com. So anyways, we are at the end of the show, guys. Chat room, if you have any questions, we always just take questions from the chat room.
Yep.
At the end of the show.
Fun little thing to do.
Yeah, shoot them over.
While we take care of the delay, I'm going to go ahead and promote our new network while we're waiting. I'm going to have to push it out there. Guys, you won't find the show next week on this channel. So please.
You will find a notice probably saying, yes, we're live. Go over to this, you lazy bastard.
Yes. So next week, make sure you guys all go check it out. It's twitch.tv/amovetv. We've decided to create a network, and pretty much what that is, it's going to have several shows on a week, all your favorite shows. Please go check it out. As of right now, the 3 main shows on there are This Week in Blizz, which is all about Blizzard shows, StarCast, which you're watching, and The Strategist, which is a StarCraft 2 build order related show. Furthermore, we are looking for new shows for AMove TV. We're looking to grow the community, grow our numbers, and grow the content that we're offering to you. So please make sure you go over there if you are interested in joining and being part of it, and you have a show that has been out for quite some time.
I was about to say there's a very important asterisk to that. We are looking for somewhat established shows.
Yes.
We're young, so we're not going to.
Maybe not. Yeah, maybe not completely established, but certainly active.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not on episode 0, is what I mean by established.
Yes. Exactly. But we are looking for shows. So if you do email, there's a brief little in the info tab there about joining AMove TV. If you are interested, the email actually comes to me. I'm going to be the operations manager for AMove TV. So it goes through me first. So send it to me, and then we'll take a look at it and discuss it. But let us know. We'd love to have content on 7 days a week. We'd love to be able to say, okay, Monday is X, Tuesday is Y, blah, 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 and bring you guys the best content out there. And the biggest way you can support, we have 400 viewers right now. If we could get 75% of you guys right now to go to twitch.tv/amovetv and click follow. And what that will do is that will support us in bigger ways that you guys realize. Well, we're going to start reaching out to sponsors, getting full sponsorships, and we're going to need you guys. We need the community to make things happen. So make sure you guys go over right now, stop what you're doing, twitch.tv/amovetv. And if you're listening on the iTunes, jump on your work computer real quick when your boss isn't working. Go ahead and follow it, and we'd appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That was Patrick Octane Pro, the in control of the StarCast podcast. Yeah, that's very awesome. We got that. seriously, do go check that out. I'm very, very excited for all of this. And if you have any other questions or concerns or whatever, you can feel free to tweet at me as well. I'll be working on this A-Move stuff as full-time as possible. Unfortunately, I still have a job to deal with, God. And if my boss is watching, I love my job. I really do. I just think sports more. I'm sorry. Sorry, John. That's my boss. John, you're the man.
We love you, John.
But this is more awesome than graphic design. I am sorry.
Yes. Yes. Plus, you guys
anyways.
might love the epic quote over there, which I know Kyle will love. I can't say it. Kyle, you need to go over and you need to quote it because I don't have the voice. I don't have the voice that's at the very top of A-Move TV right now.
All right, hang on.
Do it. It.
Can we
Stay
get a
a
lot?
while and listen. Deckard Kane.
Diablo.
Deader Kane.
We've got some questions. Jay Young asks, Garrett, meaning me, and you, Kyle, do we miss anything from the golden days of just us on the show, just you and I? I would say no, not really, because we could just say we're not having a guest this week and have just Kyle and I. That's kind of the fun part of running your own show that's not like owned by MLG or something. Like we could just do whatever the hell we feel like. If I wanted to put up cats playing with a toy for 2 hours, I could. I'm not gonna.
You could,
but
yes. That could be 50% of A-Moves TV's content, but it's not going to be.
Yeah, no, we're launching light. We're launching with, our 2 shows and then Patrick's new show. So
I miss the free exchange of ideas that happened when the game was new. That's something that, it has nothing to do with the progression of this show, but the progression of the game. Common Joes, every day, we don't get to have, oh my God moments. Wow, I can put creep on someone else's hatchery with my queen. That's amazing. Whoa, let's share this. You can shift move. I remember wowing you with that, Garrett.
You blew my mind.
So, the segments, they were a lot of fun. I mean, it's hard to say. A lot of those ended up turning into people promoting themselves, but I really am excited for Heart of the Swarm when we can have that free sharing of ideas again.
Yeah, it'll be fun. John Idle, no, I did not kiss, hug, or feel up day 9. I shook his hand and just, did the normal, big fan. Try to play it cool. Inside, obviously, I'm freaking. I don't geek out about a lot of things, or people in general. I don't really freak out over famous people or internet famous people. But there are 2 people in the StarCraft world I get very nerdy about. 1 is Marine King and 2 is Day 9. So it was really awesome to beat him and get to talk to him. So, but I didn't invade his bubble because I don't believe it.
We have a question.
Sorry, continue.
Oh, no. We have a question from One Kenan One. What do you think about the current balance of the game? We don't think about the current balance of the game. I have opinions. I think we all have opinions. But that's what they just are, opinions. So excited to get LZ Gamer and other pro gamers that we may be having in the future on, again, to answer those kind of questions.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to have a lot higher level players on that can really discuss that. I mean, I have my opinion, which a lot of people probably won't agree with, and I'm not going to give it. But, yeah, I agree. Like, balance, send that to the pros because they're the ones who have the credentials to say if they feel the game is balanced or not.
Yeah, I'm not getting paid to play the game, so yeah, the balance doesn't affect me on a paying the rent level.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
I think I will say this: I am impressed by how well balanced it is, considering all of the variables. I think Blizzard does a bang up job, and I think they get a lot more heat than is deserved.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I mean, now I will probably get a lot of heat for saying that.
Yeah, well, I mean, but in general, look at something like Command and Conquer, where we've all got tanks. We've all got space lasers. And what makes StarCraft so great is that I don't get to warp in. You don't get to burrow.
Yeah.
I don't get reactors. Each race is different. It's very cool.
It's an asymmetrical balance, which is so insanely hard, and I think a lot of people take for granted. Because the big thing about you and I, Kyle, is we're gamers first more than anything. We play a lot of games, and game design's a pain in the ass. And there's a lot of really freaking bad games out there.
Yeah.
So to design a real-time strategy game that has 3 distinctly different play styles, and to balance it even remotely well is a hell of a feat. So that's what I have to say about that.
Well,
Yeah.
we got some people trickle in right now, wondering what the heck's going on. Could we show the day 9 interview again? And we'll end the show, we'll end the record, but we'll let, those sticking around who may have missed it see it again.
Yeah, I think that's fine. If there's people asking for it, there's no reason we can't give it to them. We
Sure.
can always cut it out of the Twitch VOD later with an excerpt, so it's not in there doubly.
Sure, add more work for me. No problem, guys. Thanks, appreciate it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was so hard to click something twice.
No, it shouldn't be an issue. We'll just run that after closeout.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. So, well, everyone, thank you so much for sticking around, especially to everyone who stuck around after the day 9 interview. We really appreciate that. Obviously,
some of you are new. Thank you for checking out our show.
Yeah, we're we're an independent show, and we just do this for the fun of it. We love talking about StarCraft. We love hearing from the everyman. So thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you stick around. As always, you can check us out at thestarcast.com. That's the place to go for our forums, our archives. You can buy our shirts over there, and plenty more. You can catch us live Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, formerly at twitch.tv/StarCast Show. But starting next week, you can find us on twitch.tv/AMoveTV on the AMove.tv network.
Woo!
Which I can now say I'm the president of. I can't wait to make some new resumes.
That's right.
You can also, if you think this is an affront to justice, that StarCast isn't going to be at MLG Anaheim, you can donate to the show. You can help us out. We do put our own personal money into this show, and well, you do for the most part.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure it took us both a year to recover from going to BlizzCon last year.
Yeah, most certainly.
And being said, it's not a year yet. I'm still recovering from it. So
Nice.
Yeah. Big thanks to John Lee, who lets us a 5-star review in the iTunes store. We're also big on the podcast. I'm a big firm believer in radio. I love audio-only content because I do have a full-time job, and generally your boss yells at you when you're sitting there yelling, watching a stream. So go check us out on iTunes if you can't check out the live stream. It's a good place over there. And if you like the show, leave us a 5-star review because that's pretty much the only way to get publicity on iTunes. That and extreme downloads. So. Thank you very much, John Lee. Send us an email over at starcastshow@gmail.com, or you can call us. We have a StarCast line. It's 941-882-0281. Leave us a message, question, comment, or discussion starter, whatever the hell you want to say. Follow us on Twitter at TheStarCast. Follow me at Garrett Art. Follow Kyle at Kyle Ferguson. And follow Patrick at
Octane Pro SC2.
Very, very cool. And a big thanks to our production crew, which is Patrick. You're never here, man, so I'm giving you a round of applause. You do so much for the show. Thank you very much. And big thanks to Captain Newbing, who edits the audio portion. So everyone over on iTunes, you owe him a big thanks because he's the reason you'll be getting the show a lot sooner.
Yes.
So big thanks to Captain Newbing. Check out Kyle and I's other show, This Week in Blizz, if Blizzard owns your soul like it does ours. If you want to hear about Diablo, Warcraft, and StarCraft all in one neat, tidy 90-minute package, check out This Week in Blizz at thisweekinblizz.com. Kyle, when you're not doing that show or this show, where can people find you?
You can find me over at Biggest Fan Podcast, where we follow the fad that's driving you mad. This past week, I've been driven mad by Wes Anderson movies. This next week, I'll be driven mad by, who knows? There isn't much in the news right now as we wait for Batman and other sorts of cool things to happen in pop culture. So Brock and I are going to be doing Surprise-O Week, which is his fancy way of saying we both show up with one topic, surprise the other person with it, and we defend it.
That is going to be a fun episode. I'm looking forward to that. It definitely sounds much more interesting than hummus. And then finally, Patrick,
it's a great episode.
Where can people go, follow, find, and whatnot your new show, The Strategist?
Sure. You can check us out on Twitter at The Strategist TV, on YouTube, The Strategist TV, and then finally, we will be airing in the next few weeks, and it will be on twitch.tv/AMoveTV, our new network. So definitely check that out. And the biggest thing to check out in the next few weeks coming from The Strategist is before we air episode 1, you are going to go ahead and see us on AMove TV airing The Strategist Open, which is the big cash prize tournament if you're just joining us. Quite a few sponsors that are helping us out with that, and that is on June 23rd. More details to come, so make sure you guys keep watching this channel, which I'm saying this channel meaning AMove TV. And yeah, that's where you can find me. And as I said before, Octane Pro SC2 on Twitter.
Very cool. Before we go, don't forget to check out our awesome sponsors, doghousesystems.com. They make just great computers. We talked about them earlier, so I won't go on about it. But we do have a code. We have two, actually. You can use either StarCast or Biscuit. We've given you the choice. And you'll get double memory if you decide to get your next computer through them. So once again, it's doghousesystems.com, and we support them. We thank them for their support. So, all right, everyone. Live crew, you're getting a second viewing of Day 9's interview. Audio crew, we'll see you in a week. And thank you all. Good luck. Have fun. StarCast, I'm sitting here with it's not even arguable, our most requested guest ever, Sean Plott, better known as Day 9. How you doing, Day 9?
I'm doing quite well, Garrett. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. It was a long drive up here, and lots of music I'm really sick of on my iPhone. So, time to get some new music.
Yeah, you know, I go on a good amount of road trips because I drive to San Francisco or San Diego every now and again from LA, and I'll just be like, oh, I have two sweet albums, and by the time I'm like 4 hours in and I've heard the album like 6 times, it's rough.
You become your own radio. You burn out the music you already love. You just play it too much.
I become my own radio. I just start singing in the car and entertain myself for the last 2 hours. It's how I build that burly casting muscle.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. So we're here at the CSL, the Collegiate Star League Finals in Orlando, Florida, which excited me because nothing ever comes here, ever, including music. So how did you first get involved with the CSL?
Well, I actually first got involved in the CSL as a player. I played for Harvey Mudd College as an undergrad and then played when I was a first-year grad student at USC. So I've always known Duran and the CSL organizers very well, Mona, Hazley Nutt, who helped put a lot of it together. And in my eyes, it's like the perfect kind of league that isn't taking the winning aspect too seriously, because it's very easy to be in these huge competitions where you get these players where like winning is everything and they get crushed if they lose, and if they win they just get this huge emotional high. But I just don't think that there is a need to separate the extreme joy of just fun and competition with that, or I just think there's a way to merge that like fun of competition together. And CSL's like so awesome how you can like play and win, and then you can go to lunch with your friends and be like, oh, that was really awesome, and it creates this community of you with your buddies. And at the end of the day, if you lose, it doesn't matter. It's like joining a local frisbee league or something like that. It gives people the chance to compete and just play and have fun.
Well, that's a good way to look at it. It's definitely what makes it more unique as opposed to the other star leagues and whatnot. So it's funny that I ran into you here because we just had a show this past Thursday, and we had a lot of people in the chat room because we take questions at the end of the show. Yeah. We were like, hey guys, what guests would you like to see in the future? And one person goes, have you ever tried to get Day 9 on? And I go, no, I've never tried to get one of the most popular personalities in the StarCraft world on the show. I've never tried. And I said, of course I have. He's very busy, and you are. Yeah. You just got back. You just finished the Red Bull Battlegrounds. How do you manage all this stuff? I mean, you do fly around a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much do 100-hour weeks every week and have for 2 years with no days off ever. I mean, I just think that it's an illusion that if you are having any success, or actually let me just say, no matter if it's success or not success, just with any job, no matter what, you have to hit the grindstone and work really, 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 really hard. And I especially have, seen in the last week, I've had some interactions where I've just seen people have this incredible degree of entitlement to them, where they have this sense of, oh, I don't have to do that work. I'm above that. I'm the person who's above needing to go get 40,000 photocopies of something and hand them out. That's beneath me. It's like, no. It's beneath no one. I mean, there's tons of aspects to even my job, and I love my job. My life kicks ass, right? But I mean, video encoding, like dealing with slow upload times. If you're in a venue and the circuit breaks, and you just have to get the crew together to fix it. I mean, that's not a sophisticated task, but that has to be done, and it's important that you commit to doing that. So, what always re-energizes me throughout is just that people are really nice. That's like my consistent experience. I know a lot of people are like, there's so many trolls on the internet, oh my god. And if you actually do research and look really hard, there's probably 20 people who are being negative or mean.
Right.
And like everyone else is like the nicest person ever. Like my chat on my stream, it's really nice. Like, hey Sean, how are you? You know, so it's kind of nice. I get on there and I'm like, I might be feeling kind of down because I'm tired, or maybe I'm not in a good mood that day, and the chat cheers me up, and then I can do the show and feel good. Or like I come to an event like this and people just come up and just say nice things, and I'm just like, oh yeah. And also even the fact that, you know, UCF is helping put this event on. Yeah. That just, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy, because I still remember being so young and watching StarCraft stream from Korea, and it was super low quality, and the prize pool was like $500, and it was just so not glamorous, but everyone loved it.
So when I complain that the GSL's video quality isn't 1080p, does that make you like just want to punch me in the face and be like, just shut up and watch it?
You actually asked me that question and gave me the microphone. I mean, it's an interesting position you've put me in. Do I say yes? In fact, Garrett, now that you've told me that, I might punch you in the face mid-interview. You never know. Or I may not. No, I mean, it's one of those things where there's a difference between like frustration and then entitlement. You know, there's like oh god, it lagged right at the key moment when the banelings were about to hit, you know? Yeah. That's like you dropping your burger on your pants right before it's that juicy, delicious thing's about to go into your mouth. Like, I can understand that sort of frustration, but when people take that next step and they're like, you know, the stream doesn't care, why do they, you know, how does that happen? How did they knew that those banelings were coming, why didn't they make sure that the server wouldn't go down? And you know, having
like there's some hamsters running the server wheel, just like make them run faster. Like that's a possibility.
It's one of those things that just sucks. It's fun for no one. It's not fun for the production. It's not fun for the crew. There's no production team that pulls the plug right when the banelings are about to unburrow and kill the Marines and goes, got him. Like, no one does that. So, but I mean, by and large, just the community is just a bunch of sweethearts. So I that's what energizes me. Although I am taking a break for like 3 weeks off, like actually disconnecting from the internet.
Well, that's probably going to be good for you. Now, what are you doing with that time? Or am I not allowed to ask you? You like putting on a Batman suit and saving the world?
Yes, that's how I relax. I'll come back having saved the world with a weird bat tan, you know, where it's like I have the pointy ear marks and I'll have a really tan mouth.
You heard it. Dark Knight Rises coming out in a few weeks. Yeah. Day 9 starring it. It's his breakout role.
I actually don't know how to take a vacation. I actually have no idea what you're supposed to do, because there's always that itching anxiety. You know, if I wake up and it's Saturday and it's like 4 p.m. and I just haven't really done that much, I'm like, well, have I wasted the day? You know, like, let's say that there's a Saturday where I don't have to cast, I don't have to travel. I get up and I do like 2 hours of work, and then I'm like, okay, I have like 6 hours. I better have a fun, relaxing 6 hours, because it's the only time I have for the next like 3 weeks. And then I'm like, you know, if I like watch a TV show and it's like kind of dry, I'm like, well, shit. How do we efficiently have fun? And I actually don't have to do that now if I'm taking 3 weeks off. So I actually, I'm going to try to figure out how to do that. It's going to be a learning process. I didn't buy a ticket to go anywhere because I just don't want to be on planes anymore.
I can understand that. Although I guess being in Southern California at least has its perks then, because you're like, well, there's a bunch of theme parks, there's a nice beach, you get around.
Oh. I should go to Magic Mountain. Yeah. I should go to wow. I could go to Disneyland. Yep. That's a great idea. Thank you, Garrett.
I lived in LA for 2 years, and even in that short amount of time, you forget that, oh yeah, there's tourist things to do here.
Wow, yeah, because I didn't go to the beach for the first 6 years I was in LA.
Yeah. To be honest, as someone who's spent more time in Florida than LA, the water's a little cold, even during the summer.
It's a little chilly.
It's a little chilly, yeah. So, well, that's great, Dan. I hope you have a good vacation.
Me too. It's going to be relaxing. I'm going to come back with like a tan, and like the tips of my hair will be bleached like I'm a 7th grader from 1996. It'll be really sweet.
Sporting the NSYNC shirt. So, as far as the CSL has been, getting back on the subject of things that don't involve tans, who's impressed you the most so far this weekend, and who do you think is going to take it?
You know, I think it's pretty clear who's been the two impressive parties. One would be QXC in the All-Star tournament. He was just kind of gone for a long time, and there's a lot of people in any sport who, you know, go away and they come back. I'm going to do it. You know, like boxers who start to slip down and they come back, and then they get the shit kicked out of them for that one final game, and then they finally disappear. And it's kind of it's disheartening because you know that person's life used to be boxing and they used to care so much. And when QXC took that just long, I don't want to call it like a break from StarCraft because I know he was playing some, but Harvey Mudd's really, really tough school, so he just obviously can't play as much. And I was sort of expecting him to come back and kind of foible and collapse, but he's just been seemingly unstoppable in every matchup with some really cool stylistic touches. But probably most of all would be University of North Texas, who's here this weekend, and they really are doing a great job of showcasing what it's like to prepare for a team match. Because, I mean, if you go to like the MLG Open brackets, you just have to be really good in all matchups, on all maps, in any situation. You just have to be like incredibly good as a player. And you have to have endurance because you're playing all weekend long. In an event like this, you as a player are playing one game in one matchup on one map, so you can be really, really, really specific with your preparation. And we've seen wild strategies out of UNT, and despite not really having any star-studded lineup like Washington does, they've just been performing really, really well. So props to them.
That's good to hear. Well, we'll let you get back to it here in a very quickly.
In a moment, but...
Just a moment.
I'm ready.
Well, we always, anytime we have a guest on the show, we have to hit them with just a wacky, weird, off-topic question.
Okay.
Day 9, what is your favorite sandwich?
I think my favorite sandwich... would probably have to be any sort of, like... turkey bacon guacamole from Quiznos. I searched my mind for all the possible sandwiches. Does a panini count as a sandwich?
We'll let it slide.
Oh, then a caprese panini. Oh, a caprese sandwich. Oh, when they grill it and it has like little grill lines in there. I don't even know if that's painted on. It doesn't even feel grilled. I don't care. It's so good.
Someone's back there with a Sharpie. Just trace it.
Yeah. Filling it in. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that because it's one of those funny things when, you know, you actually get the chance to do some event production where, or even on stream production, you realize that there's no right way to do anything. Everything is a total hacked together pile of shit, always, no matter what. You know, like, I remember there at the After Hours Gaming League Season 2 Finals, there's like a big Day 9 TV banner, and someone lost the screws to them. So we have this piece of fabric, and we have like poles and no way to attach everything together.
Right.
So we drilled a hole through a portion of the wall and cut a slit in the fabric and just zip tied it up to the wall. So like just off, there's this like and there's like duct tape across it in every way. On the other side, we like stacked water and paper in like a metal suitcase, and that's what was holding up the other end. And so like in this frame, it looks great. And then if you go up a little bit, you're just like, oh, what did they do to that poor banner? It was like
Dude,
really
close shots, no wide shots, not allowed.
Yeah, and it's like this happens all the time in every event where you're just like, oh.
The guy remote switched on.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the way that I know a lot of streamers used to do streaming, including me, is that there was no good way to do overlays. XSplit, yeah. People don't understand how huge XSplit was. That one program replaces like $30,000 to $40,000 of equipment. Yeah. Like that.
You can do a lot of the similar stuff you can do with the TriCaster, and those things are expensive as hell.
Yeah, the new tech TriCaster I think is running $25,000 now, and that's like just for the box, not even for a lot of the add-ons. So it's like amazing. And like before that, it was like open up a graphic as a windowed object. Like in Windows, you can remove the menu bar and you can like close it in. So I would basically have like 6 windows open, sort of laid where I wanted to lay. So if I like alt tabbed and they would like disappear and I'd have to like tab them all back to the front. It was so stupid. But yeah, and it's one of those things where it's a stupid solution, but it looks okay. And that's all that really matters, is that it looks okay. So it's all fun, creative problem solving. And of course, this relates back to me saying I wouldn't be unconvinced if a grilled cheese sandwich actually was not seared on a grill, but instead was Sharpie.
All right. Well, Dana, thank you very much for your time, and good luck with the rest of the weekend.
I'm glad to have given that input about sandwiches.
All right. Have a good vacation.
Cheers.